Willie, I don't know. You said you got a really hot thing that we got to talk about today. So, I mean, I talked and talked. So I'm just going to hand it over to you. All right.
Okay.
You got the next 5 minutes.
Final.
All right. So
All right.
you can click off the video now if you want. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Will.
So we haven't talked about AI in a while. Well, actually, I haven't.
Mr. Willie AI do.
Yeah. And for people who's actually just listening, there's a website called Futurism. And there's a page, an article here that says, AI turned these emojis into photorealistic monstrosities. And I think you got to get the visuals to understand, because there's some pretty horrific.
Yeah, that looks creepy. I'm having nightmares
here.
about this already.
So there's a Korean company here, Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. They created an algorithm, an AI, that is able to detect low-res emojis and convert them into high poly realistic.
Look at the baby's face. Look at the baby down in
The baby's melting.
Oh, man.
They're able to convert like emojis into real things, or what they think, what it thinks is
Yeah, right.
real textures.
So they exchange like a black dot that's an eye for a human eye.
Yeah. And some of these results are pretty intense. I mean, in some ways it can detect a face pretty well.
Oh, that's weird. It thought that plant, the base of that plant, it thought it was a face. That's very creepy.
A guy hiding and then a plant growing on his head.
Yeah,
it's weird. Really trippy stuff.
I think it thought the crying emoji was a dog. Yeah, that's super weird.
I mean,
We're squarely in the weird zone now, Willie. Dude, that was your hope, I assume.
Yeah, for sure. It's just really, I don't even know what to think about it. Is it like impressive, or is it scary?
Well, what's weird about it is how when we are faced with a cartoon, we're super comfortable with it. Yeah, we were talking about this in the past with Fortnite, like the success of Fortnite.
Yeah.
And how it's a violent game. But I feel like part of the reason it was so wildly successful is it felt fun and cartoony and colorful. It seemed so much more approachable and less intense than it actually was. I mean, it's obviously beyond its prime right now. But I remember thinking, like, there's a certain acceptability component that comes alongside colorfulness, cartooniness.
Right. Playful animations.
Playful animations in general, that like by removing the realness of something, you kind of avoid the true implications of it. An emoji kind of operates like that to a certain extent, where we substitute our actual feelings for these cartoon versions, which are probably more acceptable than your actual emotions. And so when you map these to real things, you go, my God, I would never use that.
Right.
Like, I would never send you these monstrosities to symbolize my feelings. Like, the crying face or something like this. When you see it mapped to a real human's face, it seems so intense. I mean, even Santa Claus is like, wow, geez. Holy, take the fun out of it, old man. You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
It goes from Fortnite to, like, Call of Duty or, I don't know, something far more violent, far more real, closer to real.
But if you have that filter on, it kind of makes everything lighthearted.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Black Mirror where you have, like, you see it through the lens. You don't see the violence. You don't see the reality of the situation. Like, imagine, Will, if you had X-ray vision through each emoji into the individual's actual current emotional state.
Ugh.
The person sends you like single tear, and then you zoom through it and you see this miserable person curled up on the floor.
What is this person really emoting?
Exactly. What are the real feelings? You see how that works? It's a lot more depth to it. And then this is one of those cases where even applying insignificant, fairly small amount of extra depth makes these cartoon things feel very bizarre.
Right.
And strange. I mean, plus the fact that they're all melting and look all messed up. That's obviously
nightmare.
That's obviously not very helpful. But like, imagine And look at the family emoji. Imagine you sent that to somebody,
Oh,
a nice family. And it's like, whoa. Imagine sending a picture of 3 random family members to someone. They'd be like, this dude's lost it. You can't do that. But the emoji's acceptable. It's very strange. The future of communication. We're losing our ability to emote, Willie Do. We got to get it back.
yeah.
You got to use those face muscles that took a long time to end up in humanity to begin with. You can think of all the things you could. I mean, you can smile, you can smirk, you can wink, you can.
Yeah, it's a lot of muscles there.
I mean, there's a
Gotta
lot
use
of things you can do with them. And so every so often, skip the emoji, use the face, the real one.
Yeah.